pump it a little bit because I'm going to be going to Europe. Hopefully that's what I'm going to do. That's what I want to do right now. I want to go to Europe for my birthday. So we'll see. And yeah, I think that's all for now. I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, over $16 billion have been spent of federal aid money in the city of Baltimore, and yet it looks like a poor slum in some places of Afghanistan. Tonight we have with us, ladies and gentlemen, none other than Shannon Wright, Baltimore mayoral candidate. You can find her on Facebook at facebook.com / I suppose that's the term for it, Right for Baltimore. Definitely go there, or just type in Right for Baltimore. It will pop up. We ended the last segment, Miss Wright, Madam Wright, future mayor of Baltimore, with a question regarding the illumination of the city. The spotlight has been shown upon the city of Baltimore. The President of the United States, Donald John Trump, number 45, has shined a great light and accusation of corruption in Baltimore. Governor Hogan, while not illuminating corruption, certainly is going to identify malfeasance and misuse and misappropriations, and wants the city to be changed and worked over. Gotta ask you here, Madam Wright, have those illuminations done anything to yield positivity for the city?
Honestly, I think it will, but it's a slow process. Um, the the back and forth between President Trump and Congressman Elijah Cummings has definitely been interesting and really turned on that bright light on Baltimore City. And some folks were just unhappy with what was being said. Not saying that what the president said was untrue, they just didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to kind of get past those hurt feelings and emotions to the facts of the matter and understand that truth is truth. And perhaps the president could have used some nicer, kinder, gentler, softer words, but truth is truth. Um, there have been some interesting opportunities. In most cases, the Republican Party does not pay attention to Baltimore. It's
Yeah.
viewed as unwinnable. There's just nothing. Like it's been a very different response. Um, in the last month, the Republican House retreat was held here in Baltimore, and for that retreat, President Trump was their dinner speaker on that Thursday night, and I was invited to address them and be their breakfast speaker that Friday morning. And I do believe that had it not been for um, President Trump shining a spotlight on Baltimore, that opportunity would not have presented itself. Um,
Exactly.
since then, Candace Owens reached out to me as well, and actually did a Blexit program here in Baltimore, and had me as the opening speaker for the program because that was one of her ways of trying to make a difference in an urban area. And I appreciate the assistance and the resources that have uh, come to bear
Mm-hmm.
recently.
But those resources seem to be from the right side of the equation, not trying to
Yes,
provoke any type of instigation here, or provoke or create an instigation here. But the truth of the matter is, there seems to be an excessive amount of money that Baltimore has received over the past decade, billions of
yes,
dollars, that has just
yes.
gone missing. I don't
Yes,
see it being used, and want to ask you.
it's gone missing from um, numerous budgets for numerous different council areas and different projects.
Mhm. Now, that corruption, while we are used to it in third world countries, we certainly are not used to it in the level that it is in the city of Baltimore. However,
Hmm.
there doesn't appear to be a great angst by the people of Baltimore regarding the contemptuousness in which the elected officials
Oh, I
handle
don't know that I
business.
agree with that. I
Really?
don't know that I agree with that. I think the people of Baltimore are starting to wake up. Last night, Fox 45 um, did a town hall forum regarding the issues, all of the issues that you every day
Mhm.
uh, in regards to Baltimore. Now, that panel was a pastor, a former police commissioner, two folks from the nonprofit world, um, and two empty seats in the middle of the stage with signs, one that said Mayor Jack Young, and the other one that said Council President Brandon Scott,
Mhm.
neither of whom decided to show up. They confirmed, and then at the last minute yesterday afternoon didn't show up. Now I'm told, and the newscasters said this on air, that the reason they did not show up was because they had heard that it was actually a candidates forum, and they did
Mhm.
not want to have to face other folks that have some ideas on and some critiques of how they are doing or not doing their jobs.
Yes.
So it was a town hall forum arranged by a neutral party, open to the community, and they chose not to show up with this city in as much crisis and turmoil as it is. That
Now,
speaks volumes.
well, I mean, it's just one small event. I'm quite certain that they
Oh,
have.
stop that devil's advocate stuff going on here.
It's one small event. I'm quite certain that they are very busy dealing with so many
Hmm.
of the issues and problems that they inherited from Republicans from Washington, D.C., because it's the Republicans' fault that Baltimore is in the sty that it is. Am I correct?
Sure. We can go with that. You lead me down a yellow brick road pathway with this tomfoolery.
See, that's
So,
why I love having you on the show because their
mhm.
NPR and CNN would never have terms like tomfoolery. Never.
Oh, they might not. They might not. But you know what? I keeps it real.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that's been missing from the city for a long time now.
Exactly. Carjackings have peaked in the city of Baltimore at an all-time high. The picture in which we are promoting tonight is part of what the police have done. They've arrested four teenagers that were involved in a carjacking fencing organization. Those are teenagers. I gotta ask you: is there any hope for our young people in the city of Baltimore?
As long as God's in control, there's always hope because He doesn't give up on us. So we should extend that same privilege that He extends to us to others. So I would say there's always a reason to have hope.
Mm-hmm.
But hope is akin to faith, and faith without works is dead. So it's time to stop just sitting on the sideline and get in the game and try and make something good happen.
Exactly. Now, what would you do if you became mayor of the city of Baltimore? And first day, you're dealing with youth in the crime rave that's going on. What would you do to attend to those particular matters?
Well, one of the first things that I would do, which I'm actually starting to work on now, is force some realignment in the police department.
Mm-hmm.
Because despite the fact that these youth may have some generational dysfunction going on in the families and there may be some broken families and all that, I hear you. But that does not give an excuse for bad behavior and for
Yeah.
criminal behavior. So the first thing I would need to do is something that we're starting to work on now, which is get our police department in order. So You asked me, a question. You said, are the folks in Baltimore really, really ready to, see something different, do something different?
Yeah,
And I said yes. So I'm going to, it's funny. I'm going to put a link into the chat,
there you go.
um, because about an hour or so ago, I got a message from someone, and I hope it comes up right. Um, and they sent me this link. Now, I hope you can, while you're on the show, actually click on the link and tell
Hmm.
everybody what it is.
Okay, that we will do that because we are gifted like that. We will press a button
Oh, you are.
and
If I can do it, you can. I'm not the tech savvy one.
this is the gold standard in public safety.
Scroll up a little bit so you can get the name of the organization.
Okay, and that's Kalia.
Mm-hmm.
CALEA is the name of the organization. They're
Mm-hmm.
located in Gainesville,
And it's
Virginia.
okay. You're missing the part that I need you to see, so I'll help you out with that.
Thank you, because you know I'm a little slow.
CALIA stands for Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies.
Uh-huh.
Now, I'm going to do some homework and some due diligence, but it was brought to my attention and slapped in my inbox today that one of the reasons why Baltimore City has some of the problems that it does is because they do not have an actual accredited department.
Really?
Hmm.
I mean, with the Department of Justice is all over Baltimore's police force. It's under the actual leadership of Governor Hogan. You can't make a move with
Well,
the
well,
Baltimore
see,
police
now
force
that,
unless you go through him.
well, there were some problems with the police force, which is why the governor, I believe,
Hmm.
had to make his presence a little bit more known. Um, but as I said, I will do my due diligence to find out all of the facts. I will reach out to um, FOP3 here in Baltimore,
Hmm.
to President Mancuso, and again, and see if I can get some clarification from him on that.
Hmm.
But this is, again, what I was told this evening. And I'm going to do some homework to see if I can find out if it's true or not.
Wow. So if you have an unaccredited police force that's under state control, it's not under local control. The people don't run that. And as well, public safety is a major concern. I'm quite certain that's a top priority in your future governance. What things would people see at the end of your first term with the police force? What are you promising the people?
Well, I would want to get to, and this is why I said some of this I'm starting now, um, in my role as GOP chair, being that we have no elected representation from Baltimore at the state, local, or federal level,
Hmm.
no Republican representation. Um, as GOP chair, I'm it. So
Yeah.
we are starting the process now to do the research to find out if this is actually true, that the
Uh-huh.
Baltimore City Police Department is indeed not accredited. And if that is the case, that would be my first step. Now, this accreditation process, depending on which track you're enrolled in, can take the department 4 years.
Yeah.
So by the end of the first term, I would like to see the Baltimore Police Department be an actually accredited police department.
Now, there is a story out today, and we're going to put that into the chat room tonight. And it's by the Baltimore Sun. And it's about the fact that the Baltimore Police Department has seen a very high uptick in the number of people, especially from those who live in Baltimore, to become police officers. They're putting their applications in. However, those people who have been on the deck as police officers for a very long period of time have decided that, you know what, it's about time for me to go to Raleigh, Durham, or Memphis, Tennessee, or some other city a little smaller but willing to pay me virtually about the same amount of money, better sense of economy. with less issues and problems. The attrition rate is really, really high with Baltimore police. Do you
It is.
believe that accreditation will limit that? Would it improve that? And would you have a strategy for using older police officers or maybe switching them over to uh, not necessarily undercover, but certainly into the area of doing the unresolved homicide divisions or something of that particular nature?
So, because of Baltimore Police Department is in a very interesting situation right now because of the recent issues with the gun trace task force, um, and the commissioner at one point refusing to do an investigation, an internal investigation. And by the way, he said he didn't want to do it because he thought he said if we uncover more dirt, it will only help to further erode public trust and belief
Mm,
and faith in the police department.
mm.
So you want to keep the dirt under the carpet because if somebody sees the dirt, they might start coughing from the dirt and want to get rid of the dirt. So I'm trying to understand, wrap my brain around that logic for a minute. Plus, I mean, clearly there's some crime issues in Baltimore City. The homicide rate is ridiculous. The non-homicidal shooting rate, and yeah, that's a thing, um, is very high. It's up to 27% this year.
Yeah.
Um, we got some issues. And when you see things like the new commissioner putting out a plan and the FOP shooting the plan to shreds, and then you see the police department trying to do some things, and then the FOP comes out and issues a scathing report and critique of the police department. It shows you clearly that they are not working together. If they can't work together, we can't expect to see a change in the city.
Exactly. So here's my question to you, because they're independents, and you know what they are: people who want to vote Republican but do it under the cover. There are independents out there who are listening to you tonight, and they say, "Great accreditation, 4 years, working with the prosecutors to take individuals off the street as quickly as you possibly can." But you are the third most powerful person in the state GOP. You are the chairwoman of Baltimore's GOP committee. You have a Republican governor who has just taken up the umbrage of dealing with Baltimore City. Why aren't you holding his feet to the fire and saying, Governor Hogan, not only do you come here, but you work out a plan of action for Baltimore City's police department to be turned back over to the people of Baltimore? Isn't that what the radical Democrats would challenge you on?
They would. But so if the police department in almost every municipality in this country is run by the people that govern that jurisdiction, and Baltimore Cities is not, and Baltimore Cities is functioning the way it is, the governor is not going to give up control of that at the moment because he can clearly see that those in control and in power in the city are not in control and in power in the city.
Hmm.
And it's the same thing, not just with the police department, but it's also the same thing with education. We're one of the few districts in the state of Maryland where our school board, half is appointed by the mayor and the other half is appointed by the governor.
Uh-huh.
They're
Uh-huh.
not elected, and the governor does not trust the mayors that have come from the city to be able to handle that job.
Wow. But will you hold the governor's feet? Because we're going to go to a commercial break here. And I have to always ask the most salacious question possible before we go to commercial, so that
Hmm.
the leftists will only take the portion that you speak on and misconstrue it wherever they go. Will you
Oh, thank
hold?
you. Thank you so much.
That's what I'm here to do. Will you hold, as the third most powerful GOP person in the state, the most powerful GOP person in Baltimore are you going to hold Governor Hogan's feet to the fire on crime, crime prevention, and turning the state's control of the police force back to the people of Baltimore? Are you going to do all three of those things? And when?
I'm going to do two and a half of them.
Two and a half of
I'm gonna keep it honest with you. I'm gonna do two and a half of them.
which is the one that would be half?
I am not going to push the governor to relinquish control of the police department until Baltimore City has proven itself to be a city that can actually handle its own business.
So when we come back, because that's a very good answer, but I'm going to pry even further because my baby sister would love me to do this to her while she's on my show. I'm going to
Sure
ask
you would.
I'm going to ask her exactly what prevents her from going to the governor and saying, "Let my police go." You're watching tonight, ladies and gentlemen, live from the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. And all you Charm City people, thank you so much for tuning in. You are looking at the next mayor of Baltimore. She is none other than Shannon Wright, Baltimore's mayoral candidate, GOP. Has a whole year to run against Mayor Young or whomever that they prop up. And we believe that she will win. We will be right back with more of the best in urban conservative talk right after this message.